Hi, everybody. Today we're covering early human migration. Sorry. The lesson objective for today is that you will understand the processes by which our human ancestors migrated from Africa to other major world regions. Our essential question for today is, where did humans come from originally, and how did we spread around the world? We're going to go over our important vocabulary. Make sure that you are putting this in your guided notes. The first word is migration, and that means moving from one place to another. The next vocabulary word is Beringia. That's a land bridge that existed between Alaska and Asia that enabled humans and animals to migrate to North America. And you can see this is where that land bridge would have been. And here's another depiction of it from looking more from the top of the globe. It's where the Bering Strait is now. The Bering Strait separates Siberia from Alaska. The third vocabulary word is paleoarchaeology. And we know archaeology is the study of humans. Paleoarchaeology is the study of early humans and their adaptations to their environment. And paleoarchaeologists do that by examining hominid fossils, and they can be anywhere from 15 million years old to 10,000 years old. And this is the Paleoarchaeology Lab at Yale University. You'll recall we went there in third grade to the Peabody Museum, and this is their lab. And we need to also know about carbon dating. Carbon dating is how scientists determine how old the human remains are. And the way they do that is by measuring this carbon-14 isotope that's present in all remains after an animal or a person dies. So for instance, at death, there's 100% of the C14 carbon isotope. By the time something is 18,000 years old there's only about an eighth of that carbon-14 isotope left in the remains. Now we're going to start out by meeting Lucy. This is Lucy. That's not actually Lucy, but that's a facsimile of Lucy. So the original remains of Lucy are in a museum in Ethiopia. Who is Lucy? She is a female Australopithecus that was found in Ethiopia. And I'm going to show you really quickly this map of Ethiopia. She was actually found in Hadar, Ethiopia. And I want you to see this because I want you to understand what the environment is like there. So you can see, and if I pan out even further, that this whole region is desert. So that helped to preserve those human remains. And this area has been a been an area where they have found a wealth of human remains. So let's go back so you can see an actual picture of what that area looks like. So that dry, hot climate helps to preserve those remains. Now, why is Lucy important? Lucy's important because she is one of the oldest, Lucy's remains are the oldest of those of an Australopithecus, which is one of our direct ancestors. So you can see that this is what Lucy would look like, and this is her next to a female remains from the present day. So you can see how we have evolved. Lucy was found in Africa, and that's where humanity originated. Now, here's a picture of a paleoarchaeologist in the field examining human remains. And we know that mankind started in Africa. Paleoarchaeologists have found artifacts, fossils, and human remains in Africa. Now, they found artifacts and similar human remains in other parts of the world, but those that have been found in Africa are the oldest, and they've determined that through carbon dating. Now, 70,000 to 100,000 years ago, our ancestors started to move. Homo sapiens, or humans, started to leave Africa. And they migrated, as you can see, west or northwest to Europe and east to Asia. Now you can see that by 35,000 to 65,000 years ago, we now have reached Australia. And they developed canoes and other technology to help them cross the water. Now, by 15,000 to 20,000 years ago, humans crossed that land bridge between Siberia and Alaska, allowing them to move from Asia into North America. And by 12,000 to 15,000 years ago, humans had reached the southernmost portion of South America. And here's a map showing all of it at once. And you can see these little offshoots here are when those islands off of the coast of Asia and the Polynesian islands were settled. So you can see those were much more recent. Now, how far humankind went depended upon climate. We're going to learn that there were many environmental factors and climate changes that prompted these migratory patterns. We're going to see that there's pressure from other populations, so that when they came in contact with other groups, there was limited resources, and those might have propelled them to have to move. We're going to see that technology is invented, such as boats that allow them to travel further. And then there's also these less tangible qualities, things that you can't see or touch, but still propel people to move. Imagination, adaptability, curiosity, wanting to know what's beyond that hill. Just like we now want to know what's in space, same sort of thing propelled prehistoric man to move. And you can see here is they are building a canoe by burning it out. It's like a burnout canoe. Now, I just want to show you the link to this map. This link is on the Google Classroom. This will help you to complete the map assignment. And I'm just going to show you what it is and how it works. This is a map from PBS Learning, and the yellow dots are the archaeological sites that they have found. The orange dots are climate conditions and geographical conditions, and the reddish colored dots are human encounters. So for instance, you can see here, we know that 195,000 years ago, they found, from 195,000 years ago, they found fossils in Ethiopia. We can see that during that time period, we had these deserts and these advancing glaciers that were causing changes in the climate. These white areas are glaciers. Now, what you're going to do is you're going to move this along, and you're going to see how things change and how those migratory patterns start. And you can see how the glaciers expand. You can see, for instance, here in Africa, there's a catastrophic drought. Those are those climate conditions that propel people to move. We're seeing these encounters with Neanderthals, and we're seeing the Arctic ancestors reaching those most northernmost regions, and then finally coming into North America over the Bering Land Bridge. Now, this map you can go through slowly and look at all these different links and see the caves and all the different artifacts that are found, and it takes you right up to the present day. So have fun using this, and we will talk more about this in class. Thanks for watching.